now or never, running red lights, wild forever. One last shot, one last sin. Let the storm roll in, let the night begin. Yeah, we're out for blood tonight.
Yeah. Out of hope for truth don't hide forever. I'm broken in ways I'll never understand. Fake friends fade like dust in the sand. This should be for the four who were left behind, but ego and views got them losing their mind. Lies stack higher than the courthouse walls. Every headline's twisted when the truth still calls. Cloud chasing circle like vultures on the scene, but the silence of the lost should be all that's seen. This is bigger than the clicks, bigger than the show. 4 souls gone, but the world don't wanna know. They distract, they deceive, keep us blind to the proof, but I'll fight through the noise cause I still want the truth. Broken hearts, shattered trust, the world plays games, but the fire for justice still burns in their names. No fame, no spotlight, no hollow applause, just a voice for the victims of a cause for the cause. I see pride, I see greed, I see wolves in disguise, feeding off pain while they cover the lies. But I won't turn away, I won't play their role. The truth is the prize and it's carved in my soul. This is bigger than the clicks, bigger than the show. 4 souls gone, but the world don't wanna know. They distract, they deceive, keep us blind to the proof, but I fight through the noise cause I still want the truth. Now they pointed one man before the facts are all read. Trial by the media, not the court leaves truth dead. Justice ain't family feuds or who cries the loudest cry. It's the evidence that speaks, not the gossip or the lies. Brian's guilty, let the proof make it clear. If he's not, then the real killer still walks near. Justice ain't a circus, it's not borrowed way of view. It's the law, it's the facts, it's the search for what's true. Open your eyes, don't be fooled by the feed. It's justice, not drama that the families need. Through the static, through the shame, through the media spin, we remember the victims, don't let evil win. This is bigger than the clips, bigger than the show. 4 souls gone, but the world don't wanna know. They can lie, they can twist, but the truth's breaking through. For the 4 who were lost, I'll keep fighting for you. This is bigger than the clip, bigger than the show. 4 voices silence, but we won't let them go. They can lie, they can twist, but the truth's breaking through. For the 4 who were lost, I'll keep fighting for you. For you. For you, for you. For you, for you.
Pretty sure you guys have heard nothing. All right. Well, I was just saying hi to everybody. So I was just saying hi to Joey, Amy, Bianca, Facts and Truth Only. I see AG's in here, Social Glow, Transformer. Looks like Sherry's in here, Gemini. Let's see. I'm really behind on the comments, but I just want to say hi to everybody. Basically, I'm just going to be filling in for Tommy here and there as he's healing. And tonight we're just going to go over a couple things. I kind of wanted to just bring it back to the beginning and maybe do like a little bit of an open panel, and then we can go over some videos. But I will tell you guys a little bit about me. I have been researching for this case for a long time, but it wasn't just me. There's so many hands that have helped research. It's been a lot of long nights and craziness, but it's hard because it's kind of coming to an end, because there's not a whole lot we can do right now. Just review kind of what we're getting in and what we're not getting in. So I just kind of wanted to bring everything back, and I wanted to go over just a couple of videos. We're going to drop a link, and people should be able to come up here and have a discussion. We can talk about different things that's kind of on your mind. Now that we're kind of gearing towards the end of the case, I mean, there's not a whole lot that we can do. But there is like new things that have came out, recently about news. We can talk about any new cases you guys are interested in, and kind of how we move forward, basically. I'm not sure what we do. What do we do without being here all the time on this case, knowing that justice hasn't really happened at all? So I think we're going to play a little clip, and then we can just do an open panel for a little bit. And then you guys can ask any questions. If you don't want to come up, that's fine. If you do want to come up and you don't want your camera on, you can just make sure your camera's off, and we'll just go from there. The first clip we're going to go over is Birdie. Birdie recently did. I just found it very interesting about what he was doing, what he's talking about, and how he's kind of saying that we're the norm. We're the norm. We're not the outsiders. We're not what we're saying, what we're doing is for a reason. We're being heard, which is great. That's what all of us want, is to be heard, and we want justice too. So I just thought we would play a little clip of Birdie's, and then we can do an open discussion.
We've been too nice in the Hive. We've let people come in and talk shit and say all this other stuff, like Jeff H's bitch ass. And the people who continue to give their shit away on a silver platter are rewarded. They're boosted in algorithms. They're given the big sponsorship deals. They don't question it because they're validated in their head. Oh my God, people like me. I can put out this narrative that I've never even looked into. I'm just repeating what these people that are paid millions of dollars on the news say. Now, we see right through it. It's a joke. It's wrong. Put yourself in their shoes. Put yourself in the family's shoes. This isn't victim shaming. This has nothing to do about the 2 surviving roommates, the 4 victims, Brian Kohberger, Moscow, Idaho. It has nothing to do with them. This case got the world news all fired up and was pushing it out relentlessly, as they still are. It makes 0 sense. And guess what? It's growing, everybody. The number of people like us are growing. Get on board or get left in the dust, because I'm done playing nice about this. In general, not just this case. I'm done playing nice about it. You think I give a shit? We've been too nice in the Hive. We've let people come in and talk shit and say all this other stuff, like Jeff H's bitch ass. And the people who continue to give their shit away on a silver platter are rewarded. They're boosted in algorithms. They're given the big sponsorship deals. They don't question it because they're validated in their head. Oh my God, people like me. I can put out this narrative that I've never even looked into. I'm just repeating what these people that are paid millions of dollars on the news say. Now, we see right through it. It's a joke. It's wrong. Put yourself in their shoes. Put yourself in the family's shoes. This isn't victim shaming. This has nothing to do about the 2 surviving roommates, the 4 victims, Brian Kohberger, Moscow, Idaho. It has nothing to do with them. This case got the world news all fired up and was pushing it out relentlessly, as they still are. It makes 0 sense. And guess what? It's growing, everybody. The number of people like us are growing. get on board or get left in the dust, because I'm done playing nice about this. In general, not just this case. I'm done playing nice about it. You think I give a shit? We've been too nice in the Hive. We've let people come in and talk shit and say all this other stuff, like Jeff H's bitch ass. And the people who can...
Okay, so we're going to go ahead. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to drop a link. So this will be a time where you guys can come up and we can, I guess, have a different discussions about where we are, any lingering questions that maybe anything you may have missed, or you can put some questions on the screen as well. I'll try to answer as many as I can. Not 100% I will be able to answer it all, but we're going to go ahead and drop that link. Did we drop the link yet? Maybe not, maybe so. Okay, sorry guys. Okay. If you want to, you guys are more than welcome to. I think the link was dropped. We can drop the link again. If you want to come up and if you have questions or discuss anything you want to talk about with this case, we can. Otherwise, we can also talk about other things, because I really wanted to touch base on the Innocence Project and how this will, what can we do? You know, what can we do at this point? And I feel like our hands are tied. We can talk until we're blue in the face, but he's still behind bars. What do we do for him? What can we do for him? Okay. Okay, so we can talk about some of the some things that have gone on with the Innocence Project. When it comes to that, just a second. Okay, so when it comes to wrongful convictions, 63% are have eyewitness misinformation, which we've seen a lot of misinformation. We've seen statements that have been made, then we've seen the videos come out. They didn't say anything remotely close. And that's, I mean, we're seeing it here. We've seen it from the beginning, from the very, very start. This is also a high percentage of a cause. It's of the wrongful convictions. It shouldn't be happening, and definitely shouldn't have been happening in this case. And then 204 Innocence Project clients exonerated by DNA. And we all know in this situation, DNA or lack thereof or lack there tested is pretty high. I mean, it's the main reason touch DNA is nothing. But they had a lot of opportunities. They could have tested the mattresses. They could have ran it through CODIS. Any of the blood DNA, they could have ran it through CODIS. They chose not to. That was their choice. And Hitler has allowed that to happen as well. Another thing with the DNA is, if it would have went to trial, they're saying, okay, we're not going to tell how we came to his DNA in the first place. And what kind of justice is that anyways? So it's also the things that they were not going to be willing to talk about during trial. During trial, it was or prior to the trial, there was a lot of things that we were being told we were not going to hear about, or that the jury was never going to hear about. They were never going to know these things, and those things still would have led to, it could have been a bad situation for him either way it goes. However, the lack of evidence as well could have gave him a fighting chance. He had a fighting chance. So 6% of 254 people pled guilty in crimes that they didn't commit. So, what is making people do that? Is it, in this situation, a lot of people believe that Brian wanted to protect his family, that he wanted it all to stop. And that could have very well be the case. We don't really know, why he pled guilty. He could have been advised by his attorneys as well, honestly. We don't know what was happening behind closed doors. We don't know what happened with Ann Taylor. We don't know the threats. We don't know. We know what was happening, but we don't know like the actual cause of it. But this just shows that even though he pled guilty, there's still a good amount of people who do that and who are actually innocent. And that's why the Innocence Project is so important. Because they can help them in an impossible situation. Brian Kohlberger he is absolutely in an impossible situation. Honestly, how the hell is he going to get out of this? I have no idea at this point. He took a plea, and how's he going to get out? How is he going to get out? It's a lot, because when you look at the history of the Innocence Project, not just in Idaho, just in general, a lot of people spend 10 to 20 years before they're ever exonerated. That's a long damn time for someone who's innocent. So it's definitely something that to think about. What can we do as a community? We're trying our best to keep talking about it and make sure that people are aware of the scenario, of the situation, and what doesn't make sense, right? So we've gone over that. We've gone over it 1,000 times. We tried, helping before it ever got to this point, but here we are. We're at this point. And so that's why I just wanted to have a discussion. Like, what do we do now? I don't know what we do now. We've all seen some alarming shit happen. Alarming. And I think that this is something that that's the one thing that sucks about this case is where do we go from here? How do we help him? How do we help the victims? How do we get them to have justice, real justice, not just made up? Here's what happened. This is what you have to follow. We want to see the evidence. We want to see the truth. It's just not there. It's just not there. Period. So we're gonna play a video. So I have a short video. I want to talk about just a little bit of the Peterson case. So we're gonna play a little video. It's not too long, and I just want you guys to kind of keep that in the back of your mind. What's going on here in this case, but also you know, here we are 20 years later, and this case is being brought up again. So we're going to play this video and then we'll discuss it.
Spotlight in the early days of true crime stories. Scott Peterson, convicted more than 2 decades ago for murdering his pregnant wife Lacey, filing a new petition claiming they arrested the wrong man. Could it help him walk free? Here's ABC's Matt Gutman with the latest twist in the case.
Scott Peterson unwilling to back down. Days after his petition for an appeal was largely denied by the California Courts of Appeal, the 52-year-old filing another petition with a lower court.
As you're filing with the San Mateo County Superior Court, they're making almost an identical argument to the appellate court, but the appellate court said it's got to go to that lower court. So they're going there. But this is the same judge who denied a lot of their claims last year.
The notorious husband behind bars for over 2 decades for the murders of his wife and unborn child has reignited headlines after the Los Angeles Innocence Project took on his case last year. This latest petition once again calling the prosecution's case against Peterson, quote, entirely circumstantial, saying, quote, no direct physical or forensic evidence supporting any part of the prosecution's theory. Instead, they claim they have new evidence that would unravel the prosecution's timeline and prove Lacey died after they say she disappeared. In the decades that Peterson has been in prison, Lacey's disappearance and death have continued to fascinate the country, inspiring dozens of documentaries, books, podcasts like Crime Weekly.
He does have a good shot at proving that he didn't really get a fair trial.
TV shows like The Perfect Husband.
No, they question me like I'm a suspect. But that's what they do.
And the 2024 Netflix doc-series American Murder, Lacey Peterson, told through Lacey's family's eyes.
She left her husband, she trusted her husband, and he betrayed her.
Lacey's family declined our request for comment. Lacey Peterson was 27 and 8.5 months pregnant when she went missing on Christmas Eve in 2002.
Can I help you? Yes. My daughter's been missing since this morning. She's 8 months pregnant. She took her dog for a walk in the park. The dog came home with disbelief shock.
The day his wife went missing, Scott told friends he was going golfing, but later told authorities it was too cold, so he went fishing instead, heading out into San Francisco Bay, over 80 miles from home.
Lacey Denise Peterson is 8 months pregnant. She's considered a high-risk missing person under suspicious circumstances.
When a mistress surfaced a few weeks later, investigators began zeroing in on Peterson as their lead suspect.
Scott told me he was not married. We did have a romantic relationship.
In April of 2003, the bodies of Lacey and their son Connor were found washed ashore not far from where Peterson said he'd been fishing on Christmas Eve.
There is no question in our minds that the unidentified female is Lacey Peterson. The unidentified fetus is the biological child of Lacey and Scott Peterson.
Lacey Peterson's husband now in custody.
Scott Peterson has been arrested.
Peterson was charged with 2 counts of murder.
We're breaking into programming to bring you the verdict in the Scott Peterson murder trial. A jury has just convicted him of murder.
It took the jury 9 days to find Peterson guilty of first-degree murder for Lacey and second-degree murder for Connor.
We, the jury, in the above entitled cause, find the defendant, Scott Lee Peterson, guilty of the crime of murder of Lacey Denise Peterson.
Back then, investigators had testified about a break-in in a nearby home on December 26, 2002, a point of contention for Peterson's new defense.
The timeline is important, right? The prosecution had argued that the burglary had happened a day and a half, 2 days after Lacey went missing. The defense is now arguing they can show that that burglary happened on the same day that Lacey went missing.
In the petition, they claim a witness overheard a conversation among the burglars about Lacey confronting them during the burglary that they want considered in the case. And the LA Innocence Project shows a re-examination of the autopsy for Laci's unborn son shows he dies days, even up to a week after police say Scott murdered her on Christmas Eve.
The defense's argument that the unborn child was alive after Scott Peterson went fishing requires you to believe that Laci Peterson stumbles upon a burglary. Burglars then decide to kidnap her and wait until they find out where Scott Peterson had been and then dump her body there later.
The LA Innocence Project also saying the prosecution suppressed evidence from a burnt-out van near the crime scene, which they say contained evidence of bloodstains on a mattress, bloodstains that they hope to have tested for DNA. The police did not respond to requests for comment, and the DA declined to comment.
This case cries out for further investigation, further forensic investigation, including DNA testing of physical items that may lead to exculpatory evidence and or leads to possible suspects.
At a hearing, the LA Innocence Project argued to test 14 pieces of evidence for DNA, including that mattress with its stains Peterson joined via Zoom from Mule Creek State Prison. Other DNA test requests included several items found in a plastic Target bag near the bodies of Laci and their unborn son Connor, a hammer and work glove found across the street, and a piece of duct tape found on Laci's pants with human DNA present. The state of California arguing in part that Peterson is on another baseless fishing expedition and saying that the conviction should stand.
He has to show the evidence. He has to come forward with actual evidence, with actual facts, not speculation.
To retest evidence at this point, you have to be able to show that there's something quite substantial that's new that could actually show innocence. Because, look, in theory, every defendant who's convicted would say, oh, I want new testing and I want new testing, in the hope that they could get something. There has to be a line in the law.
The judge did hand Peterson a small win after rejecting all but one request, the duct tape found on Laci's body.
They tested a piece of tape, and so far we don't know what the results are.
In their latest petition this month, the Los Angeles Innocence Project once again asked to have the mattress stains tested because they say their supposed new evidence is showing a direct link between the Medina burglars, the orange van, and Laci Peterson confronting the burglars, and there is a reasonable probability Laci Peterson was in that orange van. They also argued again to have the plastic Target bag tested because, quote, those items could yield probative evidence and help identify the perpetrator of the crimes for which Peterson was wrongly convicted.
The LA Innocence Project wants the public and the courts to focus on other evidence, meaning not the evidence that was actually presented against Scott Peterson, but another possible theory that they wish had been taken more seriously as a possible cause.
In a new statement to Nightline, Peterson's sister-in-law says his family still hopes for his exoneration, writing, not only did Scott need this evidence to defend himself at trial, but if it were available now, it could have proved vital in our efforts to bring about justice for Laci and Connor. The San Mateo County Superior Court has until early October to respond to this latest petition.
The LA Innocence Project has been telling us that these claims are new and that this is new evidence, but a lot of these claims are very similar to what we've been hearing for over a year now. This is going to be going between the courts for a long time. This is not going to be quick.
Our thanks to Matt. For more on this story, watch Impact by Nightline. Scott Peterson, The Wrong Man, now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Sometimes a journey isn't just about the miles. It's about finding a place that feels right. For
Okay, so I just wanted to bring that case up. I think it's it's controversial, and if they are granted another trial, that is going to be another huge case that people are going to be looking at. But in particular, some of like the key points that the Innocence Project has brought up in that particular case is very interesting when you think about the Idaho 4 case. I I wrote down a couple of them, but for one, the DNA. Um, in the Idaho case, there's some that wasn't even tested. Um, the timeline is off. Um, just like, same thing with our case. It's off. Um, even the time of death. I believe that they changed not that they changed the time of death, but the time of death was actually the day before the missing persons report was even made. So that's very interesting as well, especially with us seeing the other day, the girls in the corner club, and we noticed that they had Apple Watches on. Whether those were charged or not charged, that could have been, that could impact it as well. We will never know. We'll never know any of the data from those. Also, the events happening around the case. So, this burglary happened and it's around the case. And other things that we've kind of brought up is Jonah Chapin. That was something that had happened around that. There was a lot. There was a lot. There's always something going on in that town. Shelley said, I wonder what their stats are, the Innocence Project. I would think that they'd jump on anything unless they thought it was fairly certain. Yeah, my understanding is they're not just gonna pick up any old case. I think the probability would be pretty high in order for them to move forward and try to get a case reopened and retried. I would assume they have a substantial amount of evidence, especially a high profile case at that. Another thing is, I wrote down a few of these. Let me see. The location of the bodies, where they found the body versus where the current was going. And so that actually changes where they were put in the water, or where she was put in the water, or if she was put in the water. It doesn't add up. Another thing is, I saw where some of the expert witnesses were not given, obviously, all the information. And I know that a few of the experts in this case have actually said that had they have known that up front, then they would have had a completely different outlook than what they did. And that really reminds me of Cyril. He really wanted the full picture, the cast reports, things like that, and it didn't happen. From my knowledge, it didn't happen. I think those are some things that should, that when we look at this case, it's like, this could happen to Brian 20 years down the road. Maybe possibly he might get another trial. We don't know. But it's very interesting when you correlate the two cases and looking at what evidence they feel is well worth it to bring up versus do they have enough to prove his innocence? And obviously they feel that they do. And the information is very similar to what we've been saying. We've been screaming this. I'm trying to see Shelley's comment. Okay, Amy. Oh my gosh. Hold on a second, you guys. I'm not used to this, clearly. Yeah, Barry Scheck is the one who started the Innocence Project. And with the Peterson case, it's the LA Innocence Project who has taken on that case. Idaho has their own. In the Idaho, the Idaho Innocence Project took on the very first genealogy case, which is interesting. And that was the very first genealogy case that was exonerated. And so that's interesting. I think that they also them looking at everything that was happening prior to the event should be taken into consideration as well. Just because we saw a lot of stuff has happened in this particular case too. A lot was happening that night, whether it was dispatch, whether it was, I mean, there was so much shit. Everybody's hand was in the cookie jar. It's crazy. And so, you know, a lot more activity than what was happening in the Peterson case, you know, prior to the murders, but to the murder. But I think it's something that we should all kind of look forward to if he is granted this case or granted this trial. I think it would be something really neat to look at. So does the defendant have to request the Innocence Project, or do they have to do it on their own? Who gets the ball rolling? So my understanding is that there's different ways of doing it, but I noticed that I was looking into that. I know that there's petitions. Yeah, you can write them. There's going to be a list no matter where you go. No matter where you submit a case to the Innocence Project, there is a list. And there is a list because what the hell are we doing? There's a lot of innocent people, and you know, so I mean that's one thing that we could do though. We could definitely I'll do a petition and send it to the Idaho, you know, Innocence Project. Hopefully, I'm hoping and praying that we've probably already done enough to where they're absolutely aware of Brian's case or of this case. The bad part about that is we're not gonna know until like 20 years down the road, 10 years down the road, which is a long time of someone's life to be behind bars. Bianca said, I can't read this. Hold on. So I think that is another thing where it kind of brings in what Birdie's saying. You know, Birdie's saying like, this is enough. This is enough. Like, this is enough. We have took a lot of being called conspiracy theorists or being made, you know, they try to make us feel like what we're saying is crazy. It's not crazy. This is what happened. And so, you know, this is a good example as well that even though nothing happened right away with the Peterson case, here we are down the road. And it very well could be like the next big trial that we look at. So I just wanted to touch base on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring Tommy in. And we're just going to talk about a couple things that have been brought up recently. And I think that we should talk about it with the Idaho case. I just wanted to kind of just touch base on something outside of Idaho, but also something that'll give us motivation to try and figure out, we got to figure out something, whether we start a petition, whether we're writing people. I mean, it gives us something to help him. And also at the same time, if, you know, we get something like this, then ultimately the victims get justice. The victims they'll look at the case again. You know, that's what we want. But okay, so Tommy's coming in. He's not quite ready, but he's coming in. And then we're just going to talk about a couple things that have been brought up recently about The case, he's not quite ready, you guys.
Boom! Hey, girl, how you doing?
I am great.
Good. Good to see
So,
you. Looking good, girl.
thank you.
Looking good. And doing a good job, too. And you're going over
You're-
things about the Peterson case. I think that's going to have a lot to do. Actually, I think it's going to have a lot to do. I mean, there's less stuff with the Peterson case than there is with the Kloberger case.
Right. His hands down. Hands down. We could probably triple the list of things compared to the Peterson case versus this case, which is what is crazy.
No doubt. And I do have to say, Mr. Jeff was in here on 2 different accounts. So I had to say bye-bye to him on 2 different accounts. I suppose he's seen my title
Yeah.
last night about Jeff H. sucks.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm gonna say Bertie said it best. So yeah. Doesn't surprise me. I
Yeah.
just wanted to go over a couple of things that Kathy has brought to our attention. You interesting things.
Yeah. Yeah. She's got some good stuff out right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Do you got that, or do I got that up here?
You got that. I don't have it.
Okay. There's another one too that I forgot about these people. I was going to introduce them at some point. So at some point today, I'm going to go over just a little bit of their, because it's like an hour video.
Okay, yeah.
But I want to show who they are because they're really good.
Yeah, okay.
And anyway, let me
Did
look.
anybody, just real quickly, did anybody watch the Idaho 4 Revealed? They did like an hour and a half video. I haven't watched it yet, so I just wanted to see if anybody else had. Anybody? The Idaho 4 Revealed? They put out like it's a long video.
The Idaho 4 what?
Idaho 4 Revealed. They usually have pretty good videos.
Oh, yeah, I
They did
love
a
those
very
guys.
long one. It's like an hour and a half.
Yeah, they're great.
Oh,
They're awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't checked it out either.
Oh, they got a new one out?
Yeah, they have a new one that they did, and it's like an
okay.
hour and a half though. So, take some time.
Right.
But I
Right.
just didn't know if anyone had already seen it. So
These are, whenever we talk about other channels like that's channels that we support and
Mhm.
channels that we think you should be watching.
Yeah.
To keep up to date on what's going on. Now you're going to Schofield, right? Is that what where you're going?
Nope, we're gonna do Removed.
You gotta wait. I always gotta wait for the stupid ads to end. I hate those things.
I know.
Actually, with this new, I'm wondering. I'll try to get a new ad remover and see if it doesn't work. Okay, so there we go. There and there. So here we are. Okay, explain kind of what we're going through, because you know this more than I do, because I didn't line up the show. So
Yeah. So I just saw that this was out. Kathy dropped it a couple hours ago. And it's about the documents that are being dropped. And
this is from 2 days ago. You want that newer one, right?
Yeah, the
This is
newer one should be here.
the newer one. Okay, I'll get there.
There should be a link. There's a link for it.
Yeah, 3 hours ago now. Yep, right here.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone. My name is Kathy. A few of our listeners of the podcast and followers on the YouTube channel alerted us to the fact that it appeared that the case summary page had shrunk, that there were multiple dozens of pages that at the beginning of the week, this past week, were available for the public's review. And then suddenly it was stripped down to just 51 pages. I had an opportunity to review the case summary page today, and I must confirm that yes, the case summary page has indeed been slimmed down considerably to just 51 pages in total. Here are examples of just how voluminous the case summary page was recently. And why is this an issue, in my opinion? Well, because the case summary page is a running document maintained by the clerk of court in Idaho versus Koberger. First, by the clerk in Latah County. Then, when change of venue happened in September of 2024, the clerk in Ada County. And what the clerk did is every filing that was submitted to be included into the record in Idaho versus Koberger, this very high profile case where so many items were under seal, so many hearings were held behind closed doors. Every single motion, response, reply, court order, declaration, affidavit, notices of hearing, minutes, all of the filings, all of the key events of the case, from the beginning of the case, December 29th, 2022 to present, this is where everything was documented. This is where you could see
They dropped all this shit. Can you believe that crap, girl?
I know. They removed it.
They removed it, and then we're talking about the Innocence Project. It's shit like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gonna get the Innocence Project involved in this case.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it is. It definitely is. This is bullshit. And here they were supposed to be, more open. Remember when Hitler first started the case? Oh, we're going to be more open and more transparent. And he's worse than Judge John Judge.
Yeah, well, he's fucking horrible. He basically, just from the beginning, he let everyone know he was not okay with even taking on this case, period. So we should have already known that it was going to be a shit show, just not to this capacity. It's crazy.
All right. It's almost like his name is Jeff H. Jeff Hippler.
Yeah,
Jeff,
I was just gonna
Jeff
say.
H. Jeff Hippler. Jeff Hippler. That's Jeff's new name, Jeff Hippler. Let's keep listening.
The filings under seal, such as the exhibits to discovery that weren't on the public docket. They were on the case summary page. So now the question becomes, why was the case summary page slimmed down to a fraction of what it was and continued to be a very growing document, even post-closure of the case as it occurred?
Oh, here we go.
At the
Jeff's
end of
Jeff's
Mr.
back.
Koberger's sentencing,
Jeff's back.
Judge Hippler.
Jeff's back with the third one. There he is, right there, people. There he is. Where is he? Tommy's favorite troll. Yep, right there. I'll take that name. Fine with me. Guess what? Well, we'll see you later. Bye.
Oh my God.
The guy just keeps, and he did this the last time that we got in a big argument. It was like 5 or 6 different, oh my God. The guy is unreal.
And his name is, you're not the only one saying Jeff H. So.
Right. Jeff Hippler.
ordered that he be taken immediately that day from the Ada County Jail where he had been from change of venue September of 2024 through July
Bianca.
23rd of 2025 and taken immediately to the Idaho State Maximum Security Prison in Boise. So now the case summary page only has a fraction of the items that apparently, and throwing out a comment speculation here, that Judge Hippler was going to go through this long process backwards from July and June of 2025 backwards for however many of months, possibly, I'm looking at possibly up to 2 years before the court would finally reach the beginning of the case, when a lot of the warrants were issued and the evidence returned was under seal. So that's one concern. And then looking at the most recent case summary page, we had notified you a while back.
This summer, for a limited time, Paleo Valley Superfood Golden Milk is buy one, get one free.
That the state of Idaho had disclosed in a court filing seeking restitution that Mr. Koberger would be meeting with defense counsel that week, not having a conversation with defense counsel, i.e., over the internet or whatever technology that might be available in the jail. This specifically said a meeting. And some have wondered, did that meeting happen? What was discussed? Well, it appears that that meeting happened because we see here that back on October 7th, 2025, there was an objection to apparently this restitution motion, but it's not on the court docket, the defense's filing. It's a public record. We know that. It's supposed to be a public record because whenever you see a PDF icon, historically, on the formerly 100 plus pages of the case summary page, PDF icon indicated that was a public record. A lock and key icon indicated it was a closed and sealed record. So what does this objection, this response to the state's motion say? We don't know. Today is October 11th. It's a Saturday, but the docket was updated on the 9th of October. And this objection wasn't released to the public that day. It wasn't released to the public on the 10th. And because it's the weekend now, the first opportunity that that document's going to be released to the public is not going to be until Monday, possibly later, Monday the 13th. So in my opinion, it just seems, just as while this case was pending, and we at the Indie Zone published a lot of content regarding the secrecy of the case. It is just as secret now, perhaps even more so, considering what's happened to the case summary page, than when it was closed. There's still documents being filed under seal. There's still items that are not being released to the public. And now we have a situation where the case summary page, with no explanation whatsoever, has been slimmed down and slimmed down considerably. I provide my opinions, my comments, speculation here, my thoughts, pursuant to the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, as we always do. If you have any thoughts, any opinions, any commentary that you would like to share with other members of the public regarding this issue, this ongoing, what appears to be, secrecy of this case, where the public for over 2.5 years was told time and time again, nope, you can't see this. This is under seal. Privacy issues. Mr. Koberger's right to a fair trial. We need to keep law enforcement's techniques under wraps, and all of the other reasons that were given to seal items from the public for over 2.5 years. Then came this, what a lot of people felt was out of nowhere plea bargain with the voir dire, which was supposed to be the selection of the jury, and the jury trial, both canceled. Everything got canceled when Mr. Koberger pled guilty, July 2nd, 2025. That is well over 3 months ago. If you have any comments
Unreal.
on these issues, please leave them here. Until next time, this is Kathy. Thank you for joining us here today.
More
She
bullshit.
always, yeah, that's, I just, what the fuck? I mean, I've never seen a case like this. And then to start taking stuff away like it wasn't there, it was never there. You know how many, oh, what's going on there? Wait a minute. You know, I mean, you know how many people have ran shows on this? What are they going to do about all the, I mean, I've ran shows on all those things and showed those things, and other people have. They're not going to get rid of it. It's not going away. I mean, people have them downloaded on their computer. It ain't going away.
I don't know how they're getting away with this. How are they getting away with it in the first place?
That's a good question. Now, I did because people have been wondering, and Birdie's mentioned this stuff, and Estes True Crime, who was in last night, by the way. Estes, hi. I didn't get to say hi to you last night, but he believes that this was all WITSEC, and I did run into, and it just came up on my feed, and it was by Business Insider, and it was about a gal that when she was like eight years old or so, was the daughter of a Hell's Angels, and he murdered some people, and I mean, a lot of the Hell's Angels stuff, right?
Yeah.
Then he turned evidence, and they went into the WITSEC program, and she explains everything about the WITSEC program and what she went through as a child, and growing up. It's really fucked up. I mean, it's really fucked up. People think they have it easy and shit. They don't. They don't have it easy whatsoever. She had some dead person's social security number. I mean, it's still a nightmare for her today. And yeah, it's quite, if you want to look it up, it's I don't have it. I can probably get the link somewhere. It's probably in my history somewhere. But if you guys just want to look it up.
Yeah, I think there's just a common misconception about WITSEC, that it's going to be easy, that they're going to feel fully protected, that they're not seeing one place, they're not feeling protected. It's not it's not what we've, has been betrayed, obviously. So
right. Yeah, it's not what people think it is at all. They stayed in cockroachy motels. It was really, really awful. And so if you guys want to check that out, it's Business Insider, I think it was.
Okay, yeah.
You'll find it. Another one I wanted to. This is the one. I'll just share this a little bit of this because it's too long for tonight. But I do want to share this because where the hell is it now? Why are they doing this to me? Okay, I'm done with that one. I can get rid of that one. I'm done with that one. I can get rid of that.
While you're looking for this, I'm going to read Wade's comments. I saw this earlier. I was going to read it. Wade says, did y'all see what they said about the jailhouse leaker? The leaker, the person's not going to receive any charges. Nothing's going to be happening. Big surprise. Good job, Idaho.
All right.
It's crazy. And that's the same thing. I mean, even outside of the whole jail week, look at the grand jury, look at, I mean, everything along the way has been
And
leaked
then
and a nightmare.
the grand jury kind of gets to me too, because their testimonies in the grand jury has changed from what actually happened. And I think that's basis right there for it should have been thrown out of court.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't
Begin
have. You know, they told that judge also only part of it. They didn't give her the full picture in the first place. It shouldn't have even got to that far. Really?
Right. You know, yeah, it's I don't know. It's getting crazier. It's getting crazier as the time goes by. I mean, to start taking things away from the case, that something wrong with that shit. This is that channel I'm talking about here, and this is called Custody Queens of the Off the Clock. Custody Queens Off the Clock. Now, I think they are lawyers, but look how many comments they get. They only got 2,000 subscribers. And actually, with this account, I'm not even subscribed. Oh, I'm subscribed, yeah. But how many comments? 409 comments. And I do believe there are a couple of lawyers, or they have a lot to do with law. We'll listen to it a little bit, just to see what they're like.
Hey everyone, it's Sam McBride. I'm here with my favorite blonde, Kristen Holstrom. We are certified family law specialists, and we are ready to dive into another episode of Queens Off the Clock. And so today we're going to start to go down a Reddit rabbit hole, which I'm sure everyone's very familiar with, but we've been looking at the theories as they sort of surround the Idaho 4 case, and there's a lot of interesting stuff there. I think there have been a lot of good points and theories that are brought up, so we want to kind of go through that, see what's a theory, what's really not a theory, or I mean, I guess they're all theories, but what's not really holding up muster for me and Kristen, at least at this point. As a reminder, this is totally our opinions. We're not giving advice. We're not pointing the fingers at anyone. We're just trying to question everything because we think this case specifically needs it, but a lot of crime out there, a lot of court TV, and a lot of cases really deserve that extra sort of just opinions from all of us. We love having you guys be a part of our community. We want to be a part of your community. And so we're really excited about this episode.
And as a reminder, Sam and I are certified family law specialists by day. And, you know, at night, we are rabbit hole junkies and now YouTube and TikTok. And I used to be a really pretty early to bed kind of mom. And I love my sleep. And I'm not going to lie, I am now up till probably 12:31 in the morning catching a couple outcasts.
Shit, that ain't nothing, is it,
Tell you,
Coco?
Kristen, my phone has been going off more than ever before in my entire life, and it's mostly
Try
you.
6 in
With
the
a new
morning.
theory or a new video, and keep them coming. I love them, but man, sometimes there's just something about a text message. You feel special. Someone's reaching out to you, but it's unfortunately not normally for a social event. It's normally just watch a video. So we're in it. Okay, we're in the thick of things.
No, and I have to tell something. It's kind of funny, a little ironic. I was using my son's iPad because my daughter had a media day for her soccer team. And it was like 3 hours. Okay. And, you know, I should have known the boys were very easy. Boom, an hour and a half in and out. No, girls, we had props and makeup and hair restyling. And I didn't realize I was going to be there for 3 hours. So I was like, ooh, I can go get some homework done. And I go to YouTube and I go to my usual suspects, the content creators that I really enjoy. And I usually watch a lot. I love soaking in information. Even if I don't like it or I think it's terrible, I will still watch it. And then I will give my analysis of how terrible it was. And there are a lot of people out there that really don't know much about the law or law enforcement or analyzing or really anything. And it's really painful to watch. Really painful. I won't say any names, but anyways, I'm on his YouTube account and I put in I'm not gonna lie, I might have even put in Outcast Idaho 4 when I catch his recent video. I love watching Birdie. I love Rolo and Roz.
Yeah,
There's a
those
whole
are our
bunch of
faves. We're not
Bill
shaming you
Davidson,
guys. Those are our faves.
and I even watch Pop here and there, and sometimes I think they're really good, and sometimes he has my brain going. But those are all some really, really good creators. Truth and Transparency, I think they're all really good. But anyways, any given night, I'm watching any of those, potentially on a live, and I'm putting this in on my son who's 8, not really remembering it's his YouTube, and it only pulls up all of the mainstream media when I put this search term, right? And I'm like, come on, you know my likes, you know my subscriptions. And I'm like, this isn't mine. And it actually took me to a different Outcast. I think he was a rapper or something, but it wasn't this one I'm used to listening to.
Yeah, I gotta get Outcast back on. I had him on a long time ago when he first started out, and I
Yeah.
haven't had him on since then. So I'd like to have these girls on at some point too, because they have very interesting, very interesting channel. So anyway, I'm just playing a little bit because I don't have them in the description, and I do want to talk to them a little bit before I go into a lot of things. But I'm telling you right now, you need to check out Custody Queens Off the Clock. It is a good channel. They're family lawyers. So that's that. Okay. It sounds like a lot of you have already seen these girls. You don't watch them, Kat? Who are you, 114 Cat? You're starting to make me wonder. I gotta keep a very keen eye on you. Trust me, for the last little bit here. Yeah, I'm just checking that out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
it's a
don't
good
see.
channel.
Yeah, Latitude brought up that there's something about the Innocence Project in BK, but I didn't see it anywhere on there. So if you guys have a link, then I'll just be a mod who does it. I didn't see anything on there. So if there is, then we can add it to like another show.
What were you saying?
There was a couple comments in the chat saying that there was something about BK and the Innocence Project, but I didn't see anything on the website. So
okay,
they were telling me to look at it, and I didn't see it anywhere.
right. Let me look at a couple things here too.
She's saying it was in their local news.
Okay, I should do maybe I should do this. Let me look at something here. Oh, okay, that's that. Okay, so I'm going to go to my email quick here and grab something that I got in my email that I think is very worth or actually maybe I downloaded it. Let me look. Downloads. I think this is it. Okay, so I'm going to read something. I'm going to get that out of there. And where are we at? Okay, we're here. And I'm going to share that screen so you guys can all see it. Window. Okay, I think this is it. Let me see. Why isn't it?
I don't know, but while you're figuring that out.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
I noticed there is an article from April 2024 saying that the Idaho Innocence Project was suspended.
Really?
Legal services and was
What?
continuing DNA work. So I don't even know if it's a situation where they have the funding right now to do that, or if that suspension has been lifted since then, honestly.
To me, that sounds like they're shutting down even the Innocence Project, so they can't grab this. That's what it sounds like to me. Your
Well, no
opinion
one's
on that?
funding it. No one's funding it. I mean, that's the way to get it out, right? Is not fund it. They need funds. So
Wow.
you know what I mean? So I don't know if this is something that is currently still in play, but it does look like they suspended it. And it looks like their Innocence Project is something to do with Boise, their university there, which is interesting.
That's just fucking crazy.
Right.
Crazy as hell. Yeah. Let me okay, is this what I'm looking for? Or no? What happened here? Okay, let me try that again. I'll go from there. Why does it keep doing this? What happens when I add that to the stage?
Oh, what do you
That looks like a whole mess there. Okay, let me do this differently. I think it needs to be up. And then I go here. Okay, I think I got it.
no.
I think I got it. There we are. Okay, so June 13th of 2025, Translucent uploads body cam footage of Molly, September 4th, 2024 DUI arrest. This is just prior. I'm going to blow this up here if I can.
I added it to
View, zoom. Let's go 200. There we go. Yeah. Can you see that a little better now? Only thing is,
yeah.
okay, I gotta get something down here though. Okay, so
Right.
June 13th, 2025, Translucent uploads body cam footage of Molly September 4th, 2024 DUI arrest. This is just prior to the June 18th hearing in the case and exposed Molly as a DD driver. Here is where those leads go. Nothing here is theory, and everything stated here can be or is linked to credible sources unless stated otherwise. Some statements are speculative, but hold plenty of weight. Are relevant to this circle and they're directly or indirectly linked together. We can only go so far with a PC and what is available from the internet. LE will need to fill in those gaps with honest investigation. Oh boy. Yeah. Okay. That is beyond internet sleuthing reach. In my opinion, I believe there is an active investigation going on that is not public as a result of Molly's revealing and involvement along with this circle of associations. Please feel free to take this outline, add it to blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Number one, Molly McMichael is exposed as the DD driver. Number two, it is obvious she has an issue with meth at this point as she has physically deteriorated in a short amount of time. This will be apparent later as other body cams are revealed. Molly makes a phone call to Jimmy, giving us a new lead. It is apparent that the officers involved are familiar with Molly and Jimmy as per conversations on the phone with Jimmy and with Molly directly. Officer Jordan, as he interacts with Molly, now this is coming from a very good source of mine, so just so people know. It is apparent that the officers involved are familiar with Molly and Jimmy as per conversation on the phone with Jimmy and Molly directly. Officer Jordan, as he interacts with Molly, suspects her of slinging meth and encourages Molly to seek treatment. Molly, as she is transported to the police station to get booked, reveals she is the DoorDash driver and exclaims, "Those frickin' girls," followed by a gasp as she knows she messed up. She later states on camera after she has waived her Miranda rights, her recollection of the events of the morning of 11/13/22. It contradicts her statements in the grand jury testimony, plus her interview with Brett Payne. I'm going to read that again. It contradicts her statements in the grand jury testimony, plus her interview with Brett Payne. Further investigating reveals Molly's maiden name is Sagoda, leading to her Facebook profile. Through her post, an emoji click exposes Jimmy's full name, Jimmy Mackey, leading to his Facebook page. Molly's post, she was in Moscow, likely talking to MPD or Bill Thompson on August 28, 2024. This is just weeks prior to her arrest in Pullman, Washington. There are 2 likes on this post, Duke Roop and Danny Annis. Molly's post, December 26, 2023. Content is not viewable. Note this data aligns with her second DUI arrest. No conviction is recorded. Number 11, Molly's post, August 22nd, 2023. Content is not viewable. Note this date aligns with her first DUI arrest in Moscow, Idaho. No conviction is recorded. Number 12, Molly's post, December 30th, 2022. Day of Brian Koberger's arrest. The post is a meme with the caption, "Did we say the right thing?" Likely her grand jury testimony. One like on this post, Calvin D. Lambert. 13, Jimmy Mackey banner posted October 19, 2022, reveals photographs of 2 masked men that fit the description of the intruder in the case. I've showed that picture. Everybody, you've seen that picture too, right, Coco?
Yeah.
Okay. The individuals are wearing face paint covering their face and lower mask portion covering up to the eyes. There is a K-bar knife, the type of the murder weapon suspected in the case in this picture. The individual is holding the knife with his left hand. This also suspected in the case. The individual's shirt is blood-soaked. There are videos depicting violence. One video depicts a person being taken out for snitching. Another video is of Jimmy in costume with the blood-soaked shirt addressing his meth circle, encouraging them to communicate and work out issues. Or he will show up at your door with animated red flashes on the screen to make the point very clear. Jimmy has memes of Friday the 13th memes that depict Michael Myers. This would fit the coveralls part of the intruder's description, as this is the theme of the masked men in the photographs. Note, they may have different types of masks, but this is the stuff I've showed you. You guys have all seen this stuff. And as you can see, the blood-soaked shirts here, the masks, and you can see, I don't know if these lights are coming from that or if that's from the camera, but it could be like to cover the face, because I can see an eyeball right here. But yeah, this is crazy Jimmy. I mean, this looking at these pictures reminds me of like the movie Road Warrior or something. You know?
Well, it's interesting they bring up the left-handed because I think Scott Roeder mentioned something about thinking that the perpetrator could have been left-handed too.
Could have been left-handed, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, Gigahertz posted video of the Banfield body cam, and there's a reflection of person with the exact symbol on the forehead as shown in these images. The person is wearing a hood like in the lower left corner of the first image right here. 14th or number 14, June 16th, 2025. Jimmy's Facebook page, full content, was recorded along with screenshots and submitted to Ann Taylor along with a link to Translucent's video. June 18th hearing, Ann explains that new discovery has just been submitted days prior to the hearing. After the hearing, the court and case go into radio silence. June 27th, a sheriff's return is entered into the docket. Also, MPD Supplemental Report 314, an investigation into Molly McMichael begins with requests for all records related from PPD and other entities. June 29th, a suspicious fire erupts in Coeur d'Alene and 3 firefighters are shot. 2 of them died. A local to the area is also shot and killed. The event is very suspect and no explanation has been revealed as of yet. June 30th, a plea deal has been accepted. Something happened here. Here. This is no coincidence. People Search reveals Molly had an address with Charles McMichael at 927 Johnson Street, Moscow, Idaho. This is just off of White Avenue that turns into Steiner Avenue. This is the path travel believed to be taken into the neighborhood. Molly's son has 2 Facebook profiles. Both profiles can be found in Emma Bailey's friends list. It is known that Emma used a lime green Elantra owned by Noah. This color can fool color IR cameras and will appear white and with green hue. This is especially true with the type of street lights in these photos, adding more yellow to wash out the blue side of the spectrum. The blue color spectrum is missing, and with false color palette processing software will simply push the color to the white side of the color spectrum. The green hue you see is simply what is available from the blue color spectrum. Color IR is not the same as the photon light capture. They are completely different technologies. However, all night vision cameras see photon color light. However, with artificial IR light projection, this is often washed out by the intense ring light projection. 22. Retroreflection IR signature detection is visible on the Valence photo as per the FBI report by software. This is not disputable. This is a physical property of the photo. This has further been put to the test with the additional photos from other video of the suspected vehicle where the presence of a front license plate is not visible. The software also does not see this data. Below is a link to the video of the car entering this neighborhood at approximately 3:30 a.m. from the Sunset Mart video. The video has been zoomed in and cropped to fit the view frame because of the original quality plus zooming, and this being CIR, there is blooming. However, the Idaho plate with the red stripe on the top and the blue stripe on the bottom can still be seen with careful and close examination. I've seen that. Have you seen that, girl? On that car?
Yeah.
These darker colors blend with the darker background, while the center white stripe is in perfect alignment with the lower front balance of the Elantra. Additionally, at no point should the valance appear with a shadow over it when the gas station lighting is taken into account. There is no reason this should ever happen in these photographs. If there was no plate, this image would look exactly like the car departing the scene at approximately 4:20 a.m. from the same gas station. Understand, even though this color, it is color infrared that uses wavelengths to assign color pigments. From a false color palette, this is a color conversion made by the software. It is only a representation of what the software is translating from the data. This is not true photon color capture. And there's a link right there. People Search has revealed both Molly and Jimmy have shared the Garfield Street address in Moscow. This is believed to be Molly's parents' home. There are other addresses they also share. Dates Molly lived at these addresses are shielded from public view. September 24th, 2025, Translucent uploads another body cam of Molly being arrested for her second DUI on December 8th, 2023. The name Justin Stringer and Sabra is revealed. However, in this video, the channel author suspects this is Jimmy's alias. A later video reveals this is not the case, and that Officer Jordan pulled Justin over driving Jimmy Mackey's white Chevy truck for DUI. He also exposed Justin was caught in a sting operation. The Washington Gazette has an article on this matter. Further investigation reveals through the Washington Gazette that there was a $50,000 bond. However, this appears to be hidden from public in the records. And here is the Gazette's links. Later in the second body of Molly's second DUI, Officer Jordan escorts Molly from the hospital where she had a blood sample taken. Jimmy is seen in the body cam as he is there to pick Molly up. Note, Jimmy is smoking a cigarette with his left hand. Other body cams of Jimmy during a traffic stop reveal him using his left hand as his dominant hand. Another coincidence? Question mark. The killer, all right. The killer was likely left-handed, correct? And yet another incident involving Jimmy's truck, a female by the name of Janelle is also caught on body cam in a high-speed chase as she crossed over state lines. Janelle may have worked for Jack in the Box at the time of the crime. However, this is not fully confirmed. Sabra turns out to be Justin's sister, Sabra Martin Stringer, from Colfax, Washington. Sabra has a number of drug-related arrests. January 12, 2022, Colfax, Washington, and notably another arrest shortly after in Kaufman County, Texas. Wow. May 28, 2022. And there's the thing for that. This is quite, I mean, I can go on and on this. They have everything. I mean, everything in this. And I will go over this again for people.
Yeah, because they were asking where you were reading it from.
What's that?
They were asking where you were reading it from. They wanted the information.
Oh, they couldn't see it?
Well, they could see it, but they just wanted to know where it was coming from. And they couldn't share the links either, so.
Okay, let me get this. There we are. So quite interesting stuff. And like I said, I got very good investigators all the way. Coco is one of them. She's the one that, well, we used to stay up until 6, 7 in the morning, and that was kind of crazy, but
yes, it's always been crazy. It's nonstop. Nonstop. There's always something. When you think you're done with something, then something happens. There's another rabbit hole, or it is a lot.
And we both have software to look people up and all their, what they've been involved in. And I have something coming up on somebody on that also that may be a little bit shocking. Yeah, very shocking. I haven't told you about this one, girl.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you. Put it this way, I forgot to tell you. I just found out yesterday. and I looked it up and I'm going, oh my God, is this going to be fun?
Those are always good. I'm still trying to figure out my deadly. I still want to know who that is. Very much so. So you might have to do one of those shows too.
Right. Yeah, I'll finish that up on another show. It has gotten to be an hour and a half, and I think you did a really good job tonight, by the way, Coco. You did an excellent job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to say one other thing, though. So there was another little short video we were going to do, and it's about the Schofield Gilliard case.
Right.
And they are going to trial in February. But Kathy had done a video on it, and apparently the attorneys are asking for some information connected to this particular case, and they're not releasing it. So that's very interesting that there has been that federal investigation has been going on as well, and it is connected, in some way. Obviously, it's the reason for that whole case. And they're not able to get the information either. So it's still, there's still that lingering question into play of where's this other investigation? What is going on? So it should be interesting. I think we're just gonna keep watching all the, the news around cases in Idaho. They're never gonna tell us. Period. We're never gonna know. But
Okay.
I think if we found that out, we would find a huge piece to this case.
Okay, so you want to do the Schofield, right?
Yeah, I think that's just something that
Okay.
would
Yep.
be good to
And
cover, like in February when it goes to trial.
yeah, and it's only like a 5-minute video, and it's from Kathy, right?
Mhm.
So it's here we go.
Zone. My name is Kathy. We have been following the federal lawsuit styled as Schofield versus Guillard. This has been pending in federal court in Idaho since December of 2022. It directly relates to the Idaho versus Koberger case because the plaintiff, a history professor at the University of Idaho, charged the defendant with defaming her, with alleging that she had some culpability regarding the crimes that occurred at 1122 King Road. If you have not yet had an opportunity to review our prior content on this topic and look at the court filings in the federal court matter, please do. This case is preparing to go to trial, which will occur in February of 2026 in Boise, federal court, not state courthouse. In our last episode, we had noted that in preparation for trial, the plaintiff had filed her exhibit list, proposed exhibits that she wanted to introduce at the forthcoming jury trial, and made a comment that it was interesting that while there were some documents from the Idaho versus Koberger case, one related to the Moscow Police Department of press release and also some policies from the University of Idaho. An item that was not included was Ms. Guillard's efforts to obtain documents from the Idaho versus Koberger case. We reported to you that back in May of 2025, the defendant in the federal case, Ms. Guillard, filed a motion which is not on the court docket in Idaho versus Koberger because Judge Hippler struck it from the record and instructed her as a non-party that if she wanted to request records under seal, that she needed to do it through a public records request in Ada County, and the email address and the contact information was provided. Now, although the motion explaining what it was that Ms. Guillard was looking for was stricken from the record in the Idaho versus Koberger case, it appears on the record in the federal case. Ms. Guillard filed that motion. She filed the court's order striking it and advising her to go to Ada County and seek what she was asking for in a public record. We have here the public records response from Ada County to Ms. Guillard of May 15th, 2025. It is unknown at this time if Ms. Guillard was able to obtain any of these records because, as her motion states, she is a plaintiff in a federal case and she needs this information, as she states in this motion, for the defense of the federal action. She specifically stated it goes to her affirmative defense.
Okay. Okay. So why is it a federal case? What is going on here?
I think what happened, and I think that it was federal just because of it was across state lines. Obviously, they're not in the same state, but in addition to that, I know that initially it went to a federal judge as well, and it was thrown out. So I'm assuming they're just going to
Okay.
keep it federally. And
Okay.
that's it's the state line thing, which doesn't make any sense because
It doesn't.
Brian wasn't in the same state.
Right. Right. That was across state lines too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, how does that work?
what's going on?
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Federal lawsuit. Now we are going to go over this motion. It is lengthy, as we do. We'll take a couple of pages at a time and go through it and then have discussions on what was raised, what she's looking for, what her legal authority. She did cite the Idaho Public Records Act in this motion. And then we're going to simultaneously wait for Ms. Guillard's exhibit list to see if she was successful in getting any of the records that she asked for that were under seal, and is introducing it in the federal case, or will introduce it in some other manner in the federal case. Please continue to stay tuned to this channel for further installments discussing the motion that was filed in Idaho versus Koberger, the legal grounds cited, and what specifically Ms. Guillard was seeking from records under seal in Idaho versus Koberger. We give our opinions, our commentary, our thoughts, as we always do, pursuant to the First Amendment to the United States Constitution.
So like it makes me think, was there an involvement somehow or something? Why is this going on? Why is
Yeah.
this going on?
Well, who knows? Everything's a secret. Everything's a secret when it comes to this, you know?
No
Literally
shit.
everything.
It's crazy.
Documents disappearing and everything else, right? But it is crazy that they're allowing that. They're not giving the information for a specific scenario for a case.
For a federal case.
Right.
That's
Right.
what's crazy. For that they're
It
not
isn't-
giving the information for a federal case.
Yeah, exactly.
You would think the federal judge would say, oh, no, you're giving us this information. He would have that power, right?
You would, yeah, I believe it is up to the judge. If it's being, obviously
Right.
they object
So
to it, but yeah.
it's something to watch in this case.
Yeah, I think we
because
should definitely watch for it just because we've been so invested in this case. Obviously, it's tied to it. It's the reason for the whole case. We should definitely be following. Yeah.
All right. Okay, I think that's what we got, my girl. Good job tonight, and I thank you very much. I was going to take over at the end anyway because of the music, because I got a couple cheats. I got a couple cheats, but I might get booted. We'll see. I hope not.
Maybe.
I ran it on another channel, so it better take on this channel. That's all I'm saying.
We'll see.
All right. All right.
I'm gonna
Well,
jump down.
thank you for filling in tonight, Coco. I
Yep.
love you, and we'll catch you next time around.
All right. See ya.
Love you. Yep. All right, here we go. That was Coco's first night. Yes. A big congratulations. And here, let's do it the right way, should we? Let's do it the right way. Let's do it the right way here. Here we go. There we are. Okay, so anyway, I got a couple treats musically, and we'll see how this goes. It's some kick-ass shit. That's all I'm gonna say, and I hope it flies. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight and enjoyed the show with Coco, and hopefully we'll do more of this as time goes on a little bit. Add a show into the week, and would be a very nice thing to do. And you know, I get sick of looking at my face. I love all of you. And my subs, you are my heart. My mods and everybody, you are my soul. And until next time, rock and roll. And we are them children. We are them children. Rock and roll.
It's getting smooth in here tonight, huh? I like that. She's a real good liar. It's a backstage and boogie since your pants on fire. Wow. Saint-Georges!